In this simulation, you will gain an understanding of Maximo's multi-organization and site capabilities, as well as the various levels in which data is stored. This will guide you in determining how many organizations and sites are needed to meet customer requirements. One of the key processes in implementing Maximo is defining the number of organizations and sites needed so the enterprise can meet the legal, financial, and business process requirements. Organizations can represent business functions, physical sites, or major facilities. These organizations could be in the same line of business or a completely different line of business. Some of the key questions to address in making this determination are: how is the business currently set up? Is it broken into multiple organizations, or is it a single organization? If there are multiple organizations, do the organizations have different or similar business processes? Do the organizations share inventory or assets? Are there separate legal and financial reporting requirements? The answer to these questions drive how Maximo is configured. There are specific organizational options that determine how Maximo handles such things as inventory reservations, requiring shipments, type of work done within the organization, or editing various sections of a work order when it is in a specific status. There are many other options. Another key area is financials. First, understand that Maximo is not a financial accounting system. There is no profit or loss, depreciation, or organizational budgeting applications within base Maximo. What Maximo does do is record transactions against the various charts of accounts associated to a specific organization. These chart of accounts have a general ledger structure which represents the costing entities the financial system uses for accounting and reporting purposes, and these are organizational specific. The GL structure created in Maximo must represent every organization that will be created in Maximo. This structure is made up of various segments, with each segment defining cost objects. For example, a cost center, type of work activity, or work resource being used. Another consideration is the base currency used by the organization. This is the primary currency the organization uses for business transactions, such as determining the cost of ordering items and paying invoices. Each organization must have a primary currency, and there is an optional second base currency. Another key to understanding how to set up Maximo is understanding the data segmentation levels. There are basically 4 main levels of data segmentation: the system, set, organization, and site levels. We will discuss these levels in more detail in the upcoming slides. The organizational options determine how the system will function for that specific organization and/or sites within the organization. For example, if there are different inventory rules for holding inventory reservations, creation of inventory usage documents, ABC inventory analysis procedures, or different options need to be enabled for purchasing, a separate organization may need to be created. There is a simulation that covers each of the organizational options and its impact on multi-organization and site, as well as the functionality it enables in the product. So let's look at a few examples. In the first example, we have a retail chain that operates exclusively in the United States. The stores use the same standard business processes, share the same item master, and order from the same approved list of vendors. But the inventory level and stocking levels are different based on the store's location. In this case, we could have one organization in each site as a store. In the next example, we have a retail chain with stores operating in the United Kingdom. Due to legal requirements, a separate chart of account must be maintained for accounting purposes and reporting in British pounds. The chart of accounts and currency would require a separate organization to be created. There is also the potential of legal requirements to source products locally, which may drive different item and company sets. In example 3, we have one site that has completely different business processes from other sites, and other legal requirements that are not applicable to these other sites. This would require the site to be treated as an organization. So in this case, Site 4 was vastly different from other sites, so a separate organization was created to meet these requirements. The item and company set are still shared, but it enables different organizational options to be applied. Once the number of organizations and sites within the organization are defined, the actual data entry to create this structure is easy. The hard part is defining the organizations and sites. As mentioned, there are 4 basic levels of data segmentation in Maximo: system, set, organization, and site level. At the system level, you will find many of the standard features and functions of the Tivoli Process Automation Engine, TPA, such as security groups, users, people, person groups, roles, and more. Data at this level can be shared by all organizations and sites within those organizations. Access to this data is generally limited to specific administrative users. For example, access to security groups would potentially allow a user to add authorization to specific functions in a given application. Only grant access to those applications needed for a user to complete their work. The Security Simulation module provides a couple of different approaches to model creation. The next level of data is the set level. There are 2 types of sets: a company set and an item set. Every organization must have one of each, and they cannot be changed. When an item, tool, or company record is created, they are automatically associated to the appropriate set. This association is made through the user's default insert site. For example, if the user's default insert site was Site A, when the user creates a new item record, Maximo inserts the item set assigned to the organization which Site A is a member. This enables organizations sharing the same item set to share the same item master list and later move or transfer rotating assets. You can think of the item master as a product catalog. The main applications associated to the item set level are tools and item master records. The company set governs how vendors, manufacturers, and couriers are created and managed. The company set determines which application is used to create these entities, which is either the company's or company master applications. This is accomplished through the automatically add company to company master checkbox. Checking the flag enables each organization to create their vendor list through the company's application. If the organization has someone controlling the master list of vendors, and organizations can only use vendors on that list, the company master application would be used and the checkbox would not be selected. Once the vendor is authorized for use by the organization, the individual organizations would maintain the vendor specifics, such as local contacts, using the company's application. At the organizational level, there are a number of applications that deal with labor and workforce management. For each organization, the crafts, craft rates, and potentially skill levels will need to be defined. These crafts are then associated to the labor resources. The labor resource is associated to a person record, which is at the system level. If a person will do work in multiple organizations, they would have a unique labor record for those organizations. Further, each labor record may have a calendar associated for planning and scheduling of work. The calendar is generally inherited from the person record, but can be changed on the labor record. For example, a temporary work assignment from one organization to another. Other records unique to the organizational level are work types, tax codes, and qualifications. At the site level is where most of the action is happening. Each site will have specific assets, locations, and work orders, along with the preventive maintenance schedules for those assets and locations. Rotating assets can be moved between sites within the organization or between organizations that share the same item set. How that move or transfer is accomplished is a business process, with specific organizational options reinforcing those business rules, such as requiring a shipment document. So when it comes to maintaining the individual assets, much of the supply chain and maintenance data is recorded at this level.